All right, YouTube. Faris is back with her FR. Pirate Girls always win. Shout out Layla. Shout out Beto. Shout out, is it Misfortune in League? I don't play League, but I'm a fan of Misfortune. Anyways, in this video, before you pull on the Faris FR banners, plural, because there's going to be two of them, because Garnet BT is coming back, I'm going to give you some things to think about before you potentially use your gems, NF tickets, regular tickets, all that good stuff, or money, if so be it. I want to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment with your plans for the video or for the content. Like the video, subscribe, all that good stuff, all the YouTube stuff. Help me boost me in the algorithm. Additionally, I want to hear your reductionist take for Faris. I'm going to say Faris is basically a water Leon ace. Yes, that's it. That's the one. Channel member for $1, and check out my bi-weekly talk show, the Ranting Hour, where I talk about some in-between stuff, like current takes on content, all that good stuff. So let's get started, shall we? Faris, if you're not familiar with her kit, she is a melee and ranged debuffer and dispeller. She debuffs, and her debuffs are framed. I phrased this terribly, actually. She has a framed debuff for attack and brave, defense down, and poison. She also has a fifth one that imperils her element and sets the enemy's brave to 0 after they act. She provides off-turn damage and party battery after said off-turn damage. With her rework, she has the water whirl. Is that what it's called? I actually don't know what it's called. She has an off-turn attack. They used to do just brave attacks and battery the party. Now it's pretty much going to battery the party to full, and it does 3 HP attacks with splash. Very good damage on top of the battery. And then she's setting the enemies to 0, so that's pretty defensive, good defensive wise. And she provides water. Her off-turn attack does water, her skills do water, and her EX and LD do water, thunder, and wind damage all at the same damn time. Her FR condition is actually pretty cool and pretty easy. It's similar to Core in that you can max out at 45% on the on-turn. You get 5% when you're attacking on turn per, I phrased this terribly. Again, it scales based on the number of the debuffs on the enemy you're attacking. So 5% per debuff. If you're attacking an enemy with 8 debuffs, this is going to be 40%. And you get 5% on a water attack, and this includes off turns. So you get 45% if you attack an enemy with 8 debuffs on them and you're using a water attack. Her FR also applies her skill 2 debuffs for just easier time hitting that condition. And she also party water enchants. I'm just terrible with phrasing today, aren't I? And so if you want to get the most out of Faris' FR, you want to bring her with non-elemental off turns because she can enchant them, or just water attackers in general, who are very few. It's kind of just Garnet and Riddy, isn't it? Can't think of anyone else. I guess Twins too. Minor debuffers to help augment the debuff condition to get up to 8, or you can just get that with calls. But otherwise, yeah, pretty much your standard off turn, your Gladios, Cores, Youngs, 8s, etc. So strength-wise, Faris is bringing great off-turn damage now. Again, that buff, 3 HP attacks with splash, that's very competitive off-turn damage. And the fact that she batteries the party to full afterwards means you're probably never getting broke with Faris. Going off that, she has strong debuffs, the attack down 70%, that adds up like crazy. I think it's higher with her. No, she has Unity armor. Never mind. Party enchant with FR means you don't need to bring a call to have her have the party function like that, which is handy. She's got party battery and brave shave in the off turns, so that's also very handy. And her conditions are honestly super easy. Just making sure debuffs are up is pretty, and she has a higher ceiling, I believe, than Core, so that's something good about her. Weakness wise, the frame debuffs, while they are strong, they can get in the way. That is very annoying, having 5, and then 4 of them are attached to her skill 2, and you want those up to max out her conditions. She does need a more specific party than Core. Well, Core can work with elemental off turns, Faris cannot. They need to be non-elemental or doing water weakness damage. They need to be non-elemental so they can be enchanted, or they need to be Garnet. And in the next 3 months of content, I released a elemental lockout video kind of explaining more of this earlier today. Well, this video should come out today, right? Hopefully. I released it earlier, so please check that out in more detail. But the next couple months of content are not super kind to Faris, and if you want to run her, you'll have to work much harder. She's not completely dead, but they don't make it easier to run Faris, so that's definitely a con you gotta take in mind. But overall, I think she's a really good unit. I really like what they did. I think this is their best tuning pass to date. Next on banner, we have Agrias, who's getting a C90 on a rework. She is a melee offensive support. She has a ton of stuns. With her C90, she gets a free skill after using her EX, which you can use on her additional ability, which guarantees that you can get a paralyze on her skill 2 whenever you use it. So she can pretty much keep the enemy locked down, stunned the entire battle. It's very handy. She's got solid supportive buffs. She's got a good amount of attack up, brave gains up, that kind of stuff, and she has burst heals on her skill 1 and HP regen on her framed self buff, and she has magic silence on EX, so she's super shutting down magic units, but she can keep other units locked down as well. Her LD gives her a charge of her Faded Moly debuff, which was previously 1 turn, but now it's 2 turns. So yeah, she's really keeping everybody locked down. Her personal damage, I think, still is not the greatest, unfortunately. Her skills are what? Her skill 2's 3 hits AoE, skill 1's 4 with splash, EX is 4, and I think LD is 4. So while Agrias doesn't bring great damage, if you need those lockdowns, you're good. But damage wise, she's not bringing the pain, unfortunately. But now we have Garnet, who is the most broken GL first. I think it's easy. I think it's a I think it's not a hot take anymore, or not even up for debate. But she is a magic offensive support. She does water and thunder damage, and water and thunder enchants the party. She does burst heals on her EX, and she has party battery out the ass. She got excellent X on BT auras, providing refund after doing an attack refund after the party does HP attacks, on top of giant massive HP cap and other good stuff that you just know that it makes everyone hit harder. And she's got an off-turn follow-up as well to bolster the party's damage. So yeah, Garnet's a very good unit, and her BT she does need the BT to enable those auras, obviously, but that's on another banner if you want that instead of Tifa's BT. But we've reached the end. Before you pull on Faris FR, some things to think about. Just gonna give my opinion. If you know what you want to do with the unit, go ahead, by all means, do what you got to do. But this is more for people on the fence and who want to hear an opinion on the character. As for my personal plans, so I had Faris and JP, but then I didn't have any means nor the desire to work her through the lockouts, and that really hurt her FR wise, and I really don't want to do that again. Like, I thought maybe I could run her like that, but I don't think I should. I think it'd be more trouble than it's worth. So I'm actually going to skip on Faris's FR, and then I have everything else on these banners. So yeah, there's nothing that I need. You can still run Faris without her FR, fortunately, and that's kind of what I think I'd recommend for other people. So if you already got Core's FR, for example, that could be a good FR to run with Faris. And again, the next 3 months of fights are not kind to Faris, but I did successfully use her at least twice past that. So even if you're a little down on Faris, she can come back. But her FR is a pretty hard sell right now, I'd say, unfortunately. And the thing is, 3 months of power creep is crazy, and you might not want to use the older toy by that point, and it sucks. But there are ways to get around that, don't get me wrong. If you got Charlotta, and then the cool thing about Faris, at least, is she brave gains through her stuff. So even if her brave damage is in the dirt, she could at least still gain through things. So even without Kate and Charlotta or Setzer, because she refunds based on HP damage dealt, so she could theoretically gain through that and do an okay amount of damage. It's just you got to work harder. So don't let me put Faris down too much. No, I don't want anybody who's like, oh, who said you couldn't use Faris? And I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it's harder to use her, and you got to work a little harder. That being said, Garnet is in another tricky position as well. I think it's funny. This is probably the worst time to pull for Garnet and max her out, I'd say, because again, the 3 months of lockouts, and then briefly after that, she's coming back with a BT. I don't know. Actually, he already has her BT now, global. So she's coming back with an FR. So I'd say if you were thinking about getting Garnet for the support, I'd say hold off on Garnet for now. Maybe get her. Usually I don't recommend getting someone when they get another 2-inning pass, but Garnet's a special case of the upcoming content isn't going to favor her with the lockouts. So I'd say if you're really interested in Garnet, I'd say maybe save your resources and maybe plan to get her FR then, because if you really like Garnet that much, you probably get her then. Anyways, as for Agrias, I think Agrias' personal damage is a bit too low, and I don't think the stuns are justified when we're in Shinryu era and we kind of encourage counters and stuff like that. I don't think Agrias quite fits in any current teams right now, especially because her damage it's kind of on the lower side. So going back to it all, would I recommend you pick up anyone on this banner? Not really. I think Faris is probably the best pickup on the banner, and that's only if you are planning to run her in off-turn comps that don't include her FR. Like I just say straight up, I just wouldn't recommend people pull her FR. and maybe her call isn't even that good now either, just because the debuffs get in the way and we don't really need those. I can't think of a single scenario where Faris's call is useful anymore. So if you really need an off turn a unit, I'd say go back and grab 8, or maybe wait a little bit for the future. But as of right now, I can't really recommend anyone get Faris in any capacity. LD at most, but the FR probably isn't. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Again, I don't think Faris is unusable. I'm gonna try and use her LD wise throughout these fights and see how well she can gain through things, especially on the backs of Kate and Charlotta and Setzer. But I'm not gonna use their FR. I'd rather use something like Core's FR plus Faris. You know, that's all I got. Let me know what you guys think. Again, let me hear your reductionist take. Let me see how funny you guys can get it. She's a reverse Layla. I don't know. Anyways, I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one. Peace.